What if the greatest shift in human history isn't just coming, but it is already quietly becoming the norm? 20 years ago, we shifted from cash to cards, debit cards, online payments, almost without even noticing. And today, we are shifting from human decision making to machine guidance, right? AI. And the speed is unlike anything we've ever seen. Because technology, if you think about it, often enters society through convenience. That's the sell that we receive. That's the sell point. For example, debit cards promise speed and ease. Well, smartphones promised connection. And artificial intelligence promises, in the same manner, efficiency and answers. However, scripture reminds us that rapid increase in knowledge are a marker of the last days. Welcome, everyone. This is Deanna, Light Warriors Rising community. We are encouraging everyone to discern the last days. And today we're talking about the artificial intelligence, God, and the Antichrist. And in the context of the speed of change and human adaptation, how easy it is this to be sold to us when we are not applying discernment, as we've seen in the cases of these past technologies in the past 20 years. Daniel 12:4 says, "Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase." But this is not a knowledge that you and I know. This is not merely education, about education. It rather describes a global acceleration of information and movement that gets faster in development than the human man, the human brain, can understand and keep track of. And that is the danger that we are discussing on this show, on our shows, when Christians are not informed, when mothers and parents and children are not informed at what cost this artificial intelligence development comes with. The danger is not technology itself. Technology has never been the issue. It is who's using this technology, for what purposes. Insofar, all the technology development in the past 200 years have come to aid the military industrial complex. The technology that has been developed is not developed for you and I, for our well-being. That's the cell card, but originally it is developed for the military purposes. And we already know that the human public, the population, does not know the extent of how artificial intelligence is used already in the military industrial complex. So the shift in one way, it has already begun. And we're discussing this exact point to bring awareness and to bring discernment. The issue is not fear of technology. It's rather awareness. It is not the fault of the butter knife or a knife. If it is being used for nefarious purposes. So the technology is not the problem. We are welcoming technology. But in what respect and in what context are we using this technology? The faster the change, the deeper the discernment must be. Ask yourself, how often do you scroll each day on your cell phone, on your Facebook, without even realizing that we are at the mercy of the algorithm? That is an artificial intelligence, the algorithm that decide what we see on our social media, what kind of videos are we watching, what kind of movies are we watching on our channel, on Prime, on Amazon, on Netflix. An algorithm is behind that feed that decides what we might like. And it is based on hundreds and thousands of points of recognition that is being collected worldwide in everything that we're using. What kind of colors we like, what are we shopping, what we're searching for, our history is searching, our conversations, what we click on, what we like, what we heart, what we comment to. So it is already here, the implementation of the artificial intelligence that is used to collect data and then used to lure you and I into a system that is becoming so much smarter than us. So artificial general intelligence is being called into being programmed or predicted to be in the next 12 months. Scientists like Elon Musk, Altman, Sam Altman, developers across the world in the artificial intelligence industry are saying that we are in the end times. They're already predicting because they already know what's coming down the drain. So therefore, you and I, as Christians, must be truly anchoring ourselves in scriptures and in a true ethical, moral questioning that we should have. You and I, you when you go to sleep, you should have a questioning, deep soul searching questions for yourself. Are you ready to to if there's no other choices there, what are we going to do? The digital ID is getting ready to be introduced across the world, across all the states. We are moving at such fast pace towards an artificial intelligence that is going to be so much intelligenter, so much smarter than than the general human population, that they will become like a god because we will not even know what they will try to tell us. We will not even be able to understand what it's trying to do. How often then are we relying on decision making points that we perceive as a delivered, differentiated delivery towards us, right? I am opening my cell phone and I'm saying, oh, well, I'm opening my feed, for example, in my Facebook or in my, TikTok or Instagram. And I'm giving every single scroll more power to the digital artificial algorithms that are running in the back. With every scroll, with every like, with every heart, I and you are in fact in agreement with a system that is not for you and I. Prophecy and Bible verses and prophetic warnings have been delivered for thousands of years for this exact point in time where we're right here in 2026. The Hebrew word 7217, resh, describes exactly the times that we live in right now. It is all about a war on your mind, a war on your brain. Will you be augmented or not? And please tell us in the comments, will you take an augmentation to fit in with the peer pressure? What will you be doing? What if your entire family is going to have augmented and they're not Christians? What will you be doing? These are questions that you have to ask yourself before we are going to be bombarded with these new products that are coming out this year. What you believe is introduced one way by exactly what you've been scrolling, what you're agreeing with the algorithm, and the algorithm feeds you back those exact things. But it also feeds you things that you might be interested in the future. The shift, brothers and sisters, has already begun. 1 Thessalonians 5:21 says, believers should be testing all things and hold fast to what is good. Discernment must move at the same speed as innovation. And we have lacked this entire point since we've invented technology. Since we invented the pharmaceutical industrial complex, are you still taking products and using products even if there's warning labels longer than the description of items, what's in the item? Are you still using those? Everything that's been delivered for the past 200 years to the general population has side effects. That's the easiest way to put this. And truly the easiest way to integrate and say, hey, let me think about this for a second. What am I going to do when I can't go into a grocery store anymore because it will be required to have either a digital ID, which is the bridge towards your mark of the beast, towards the Antichrist who's going to be on top of all this entire system, and who will be acting like a god because it will be so much smarter than you and I and everybody. So yes, God, artificial intelligence, and the Antichrist could be our next main obstacle, I would say, if the artificial intelligence is so smart that will decide to act like a god, being totalitarian and authoritarian, and refusing you access to pump your gas in the car because you do not have your digital ID or your mark of the beast, what will you be doing? Have you asked yourself that? I'm asking myself every single night. What is going to happen? We're moving at such fast pace. We thought 5 years ago that we'll have more time, 20, 30 years. No, brothers and sisters. We are looking at the ambush and the hijacking of the mind, of the sum of all intelligence by the artificial intelligence that's going to be functioning like a god when it reaches general artificial intelligence, when it reaches singularity. And we've already seen trillions of dollars thrown at this system to be developed without checks and balances. Tell us, do you agree with this? And of course, tell us, where are you tuning in from? Where are you holding Yeshua HaMashiach's light? And tell us, where do you stand in this? You will have sooner than later to make a decision on which side of this development of artificial intelligence and its introduction in embedded into the social structure, which side will you be at? It is the same question as it was with the vaccines. With all the vaccines, it is the same question with toxins and stuff that we're seeing in our products of every day that we're consuming, that we see in our air, that we see all the secondary effects that are being swept under the carpet because, you know, if we're not seeing them, then what you don't see is not in your mind. But we've been warned over and over again about this exact point in time where we are witnessing a race and a war on your mind, on who is going to become the head, the most intelligent, the head of the government, of the industrial complex. So, brothers and sisters, again, the issue is not to fear technology, but it's rather awareness and have a clear position, a clear standing. Where are you standing in this? The faster the change, the deeper the discernment must be. So, brothers and sisters, I'm looking forward to hear from you what you believe, where you're tuning in from. Leave us a comment, subscribe, like, and share. This is an important topic that not so many people are aware of. And even if we are aware, it's kind of like in a general idea. But here in our show, we're discussing the implementation in the education. What's going to happen with your kids in schools? When there will be this AGI and singularity everywhere, when there will be required, the Antichrist will be requiring us to have, the mark of the beast, your identification. If they say no, you cannot enroll your children in school anymore. What are you going to do if you can't get gas in the car? If you can't go to the grocery stores? There are places already who don't allow you to go in if you don't have a digital ID. Even if momentarily it's still on the iPhone. But that won't be long. In the next 6 months, we're going to see the introduction of brand new technology that will be backed up and will be answering. There will be the infrastructure for the mark of the beast system. So if I don't see you soon here, I will see you in the clouds, brothers and sisters. Please drop a word of encouragement for our Light Warriors Rising. Until later on, I love you all. Deanna signing out. You know that the artificial intelligence right now is getting more smarter every day, more so in one day, equivalent to maybe 5 years of a development of a child. Brothers and sisters, we're looking at the comparison between learning through play, which is an organic playing that our children are learning, then this developing and learning through play, through interaction with their parents, interaction with other children. So that's an organic play that has a backbone of ethical, moral background compared to artificial learning, which is the artificial going towards artificial general intelligence that has a self AI learning loop that is faster and faster, leading in the next 12 months to reaching artificial general intelligence. And the question is, what will happen then when the artificial general intelligence is going to take over all our jobs and turning into the teachers of children in schools, teaching us, yet not having, so lacking that backbone, that ethical backbone, the differentiated instruction, the understanding that humans learn differently and that it's okay to make errors. In fact, humans learn through errors. That is the play style of learning. For more information, look at our Light Warriors Rising channel and look at the prophetic message in full detail. The link below is right here.